to Jackson for inviting me here.
Hello everyone and welcome to another new episode of Entrepreneur in Spotlight. Today we have Manoj Prakash with us and who is a postgraduate from Jagjit Seth School of Management and he is our immediate senior and has been inspiration for all of us and we are honored to have you here. So can you please tell me about yourself?
First of all, thanks to Jackson for bringing me back here. And so I did my postgraduate in Jagdish Seth School of Management in Business Analytics, and my I did BTech in ECE from Presidency University. So in between, I had 1 year gap. So in that gap was due to COVID. So in that gap, I was feeling restless. So I wanted to do something, but I couldn't go out. So at that time, I thought of I could do something, even though, see, even if I am not able to manage to pull it off, it's okay. But I just want to give it a try instead of sitting and binge watching on Netflix or Amazon. So even that bored me. So I really wanted to do something, but there was nothing to do. I couldn't go out. So that was the case. That was the scenario where all this began.
So like you have a patent, so can you please elaborate how you got that and what's it about?
So, firstly, when I was, as I told, during COVID, I wanted to see. Basically, I'm a problem solver, not just in resume. Even in life, I take up some problems and try to solve it. So at that time, I kind of net surfing and I found out that in India, waste management is the biggest problem, and even government. To give you an example, in 2015, our budget was 47,000 crores for Swachh Bharat mission. But in 2020, again they reinforced by 3 times. So the budget was 1,47,000 crores. So I found out that that's the place where there is more stress. So I started finding like what is the reason, where is the market. So I found out that there was 9.8 million metric tons of plastic that was coming up, and the plastic was so used that you cannot direct it to anywhere. If you burn, it causes air pollution. If you dump it, there is no place to dump. Again, if you put it into oceans, again it's causing pollution, getting microplastics back into your food chain. All those things were happening. So you had to repurpose it. But I found out that to repurpose, there is again problem involved because see, this is a virgin plastic. After you consume it, it's a waste plastic. So where do you dump it? Few people will dump it in the
Right place.
yeah. Rest it will be littered. So at that point of time, what happens is the hakki pikki all those rag pickers, they have to pick it up from the ground, and by the time they pick it up, it will be corroded. Corroded in the sense it loses its vitality because of heat.
After that,
Yeah. So what happens is after see, if I'm a recycler, if I purchase this and again if I try to repurpose with that plastic, first of all, occupying those used plastic waste is expensive because of rag pickers. Again, they have to give to local vendors. From there, they have to get into mass. From there, they have to pick it up. So the whole recycling industry was getting expensive, and they were not able to pull off the margins from that because virgin plastic at the time, by the time they recycle it, virgin plastic would be much cheaper than recycled plastic. So why would they choose used plastic which has low quality output than going for the virgin plastic? So they were not, the rate of recycling was very low, and that's the reason all the plastic is getting ended up in oceans and landfills. So I saw a vicious cycle there. See, from the government point of view, they clean from one end, and the next day they'll again see the same plastic being littered. So how many times do you think they can keep cleaning? It's a never-ending story. So I wanted to address all this from a single solution. So that's when I got the idea of Juventra.
Okay. So this plan was always part of your like initial plan, or you just keep on changing it, and how you came to the final idea?
No. My plan was to repurpose it. So I found out a way that this plastic can be converted into jet fuels. So from there, my point was to convert it into jet fuel, I have to have a clean plastic. So as I told you, it was not possible at the present scenario. So I wanted a clean plastic, but it's already has a life, right? So it should already been served a purpose. After that only I wanted to convert, because if I have to do it directly from the plastic, there is no need, because even the plastic is a petroleum product. Instead of making a plastic, they can directly make it into a fuel. But I wanted to turn these used plastic into fuels, not directly with the fuels.
Okay. As the owner of Joentra, and could you provide further details about your company and its operations?
Yes, so what we do in Juventra is, first, as you can see, there is QR code on each and every bottle, and also we want to associate another computer coded technology with this. And we have to, what we are pitching is, we want government to collect an extra sum of fees as fine before violation. See, if I'm serving you some plastic, after your use, you throw it just because it doesn't carry any value. See, if this, let's assume if this has a worth of 5 rupees, if you dump it somewhere, you'll get 5 rupees back. What would you do? You go and dump it there. But if there is nothing like that, that's the reason you are throwing it, because you are pursuing this as a waste, not as something worthy. So I want to create worth for the waste plastic. So what happens here is, when you dump it inside, we access all these computer codes and we try to monetize it. In a way, we are giving monetary benefits for your good works. If you are doing it in a disciplined way, you will get back the previously held money, the fine before violation, as I told. So that would be rewarded back. If you don't do it, we have already collected your fine. So, and also in another way, if you are not going to do that, somebody else will do it, because it still has the value, right? Ultimately, what we want, we don't want that vicious cycle there, right? Ultimately, we want some volunteers to do it. Either if you are consuming and if you want the money, you do it. If you don't want, no problem. You throw it somewhere, somebody else will do it. That's the ultimate goal for us.
Okay. What are your future plans, like some new innovation and creation, or is something new coming into the market? Primarily focusing on the current one, or is there anything new you want to introduce into the market?
Yes, actually we are planning to come back to another market, that is into legal sector. So with the help of Jackson's entrepreneurial curriculum, with that I have started another startup which is related to legal sector. So what we do here is, there, as you know, there is 98% of the people get their lawyer through their close network itself. See, if I have some problem, I'll call my dad or my friend. If you know some lawyer, just suggest me. I'll just blindly go with that lawyer. Right? That's what is happening, and data says more than 65 to 70% of the case is unresolved, because that case is the lawyer who is carrying out that case is not competent enough to pull it off. So that's one more risk which is involved. So what we do is, we'll use AI and we'll have a summary of your case, what the case is all about. We'll get the highlights from the case and try to search for similar past cases in the code, and then we try to simulate, like what is the probability of winning, how complicated it is, what are the IPC sections which can boost your case, and what is the IQ level of the lawyer if it's too complicated, and what could be all those quantitative, qualitative things we involve, and try to match with the lawyers who is capable of winning your case. And that's our newest business.
Okay. And you're an entrepreneur, you got the patent. So what advice or skills you want us to have to get those things?
See, when, as I would say, at this point of time, most of the people is like when we go back to our parents' generation, all of them wanted to have a peaceful work, job, settled life. If we go back to our grandfather's era, all of my grandparents were at that point of time, they wanted to have huge lands, farming, settled life. But now the scenario has changed for our generation. So ultimately, at some point of time, everybody is going to get back to entrepreneurship because you would get to know there are a lot of things involved in the jobs. It would get your life complicated. Like the financial, the inflation that's happening now isn't going to sustain if you are into job. And also AI is, right, it's going to take over. Only jobs which are not going to taken up by AI is decision making. All of them are at the top places. The routine jobs which are like coding and all those routine jobs will be taken over by AI. Only decisional jobs will be left over. So if you have to make it over there with the current competition, you have to think it. See, I am not going to say it's impossible. If you have the capacity, you would go. But it's like 1 in 100, I would say. So again, everybody will be forced out of the company. You have to do something else other than getting a job. So at that point of time, when you think of getting into entrepreneurship or developing a business, that would be some kind, it would be late by the time you get realized to that. So I would say, if you want to pursue business, while planning, you would see all the big things like I have to do this is the market cap I need to have, this is the size we want to grow. All those things are fine, but you have to see all those things are like milestones. So to get those milestones, you have to think like, what is the way I can do it up? You have to break it down into steps. Like even if you don't find any steps at present, you just put a timetable that every day I will put at least 2 hours into this business. I'm blind, but still I'm going to do something. If I sit there, something will come to your mind. So I would say, at least think, if not doing something, at least think for at least 2 hours a day. Keep 2 hours for your business. If you are planning to run a business, that's the advice I would give.
Okay, that's all. Thanks for joining us today. And for like more details, you can check out the link and like, comment, and subscribe.